Hello and welcome to the Long Island Weather Report. The train of rain finally pushed off to the east. Finally, you can see there's still a train of clouds that is sort of pushing up the coast here. The stalled front here still taking its sweet time, slowly crawling off to the east. And we had plenty of clouds today. Only got a glimmer of the sun as it was setting right here, and it was kind of a colorful sunset. Looking at these clouds that we had, very colorful clouds towards sunset. You can see there some stratocumulus, some cirrus in there as well, maybe a little bit of altocumulus. And then toward dusk, it started to try to scatter out, and then it kind of sort of came back in on us, and then it cleared out again. So we're trying to in and out of the clouds, so to speak, I guess you could say tonight. Right now, it looks like we're more out than not, but you can see here this long train of moisture here. We'll look at the CONUS view, so you got a good look at it there. We'll run this 72 so you can see the whole thing, all the way from the Gulf and the Caribbean, all that moisture being transported northward there, and that brought up plenty of rain to the area, and we're going to go over those rainfall totals right now. Looks like over an inch in a good part of Connecticut, coastal Connecticut. As you went further east, it was closer to 2 inches. Hamden and New Haven got 1.90 inches of rain. And as you head into eastern Connecticut, like New London, over 2 inches there, 2.5 inches to be exact. Northern Jersey, 1.28 in Ringwood. Essex County, Livingston, 1.30. Passaic County, 1.15. Union County got less than an inch. As far as the city goes, Bronx only got 0.96 inches. And Brooklyn, the high amount there, 1.40, but most people just got around an inch of rain. And then for Nassau County, we got more than that. Seaford got 1.75 inches. North Massapequa, 1.22. Levittown, 1.10. Albertson, 1.04. Merrick, 1.04. So depending on where you were, around an inch, and then further east, you got more. But Mineola only got 0.79 inches, so further west, a lot of that heavy rain went to our east. Midtown Manhattan, Central Park, let's see, 0.92 there. Not going to go over all these because they're not all that remarkable. Around an inch in Queens. Rockland County, 1.06 inches in Haverstraw. But the highest amounts by far were in Suffolk County. Montauk getting 2.54 inches. East Hampton, 2.08 inches. West Hampton, 1.95. And that is right where the fires happened. So that'll help at least bring some moisture to that area. 1.77 inches at Upton. So the Pine Barrens got a good amount of rain, 1.5 to around 2 inches. Orient got 1.60. As we head further west, the numbers go down. Islip Airport, 1.54 inches. Ridge, 1.32. Whole bunch of numbers here. And we will look at all these on the map as well. We're going to go to the map right now and show you what we've got. Obviously, a lot of red flag warnings in the Midwest again, as another storm kicks up the winds there. And we'll have to worry about fires in that area. But looking right now, we got breezy conditions, not ridiculously windy conditions, but windy enough. 41 at Islip. Dew point is 32. Northwest wind at 23, gusting to 29. It got all the way up to 59 degrees today, and a maximum wind gust of 44 miles an hour over there. So nothing too crazy. So let's look at these rainfall amounts on the map. The temperatures you see, by and large, low to mid-40s. Let's look at these rainfall amounts on the map. We'll do, I guess, 36 hours. It kind of shows you the deal where the higher amounts were more out east, further west over Nassau. Still over an inch. Still a respectable amount of rain, but the heaviest amounts definitely over the east end into eastern Connecticut and Rhode Island and New England and the Cape. That's where you get your 2-inch plus amounts. And then in New Jersey, got chipped again, depending on where you were. If you were in a little bit, I mean, still an inch, around an inch. Still around an inch. 1.10 at Coil Field. Okay, that's in the Pine Barrens. That's good. But Miller Air Park only got 0.93. I mean, it's a respectable amount. Not a soaking per se. And the higher amounts were more toward the coast. Now, it's interesting. Downtown Toms River got 1.47, and as you headed out the seaside, 1.91 there, and over 2 inches on the LBI. And then you have to go a little further south, eastern Atlantic County, around Atlantic City, to get those higher amounts. And let's see, 2.32 inches at Atlantic City Airport. So this is where the higher amounts were, and you can sort of see how everything kind of trained up over coastal Jersey Shore, up into eastern Suffolk County, into eastern Connecticut, Rhode Island, and southeastern New England. So that's how it all kind of worked out. Looking at our weather map right now, you can see here that we have low pressure that is offshore. The front slowly crawling offshore. Somewhat of a pressure gradient, nothing too crazy, but we have that pressure gradient, and that's why we've got the wind. Looking at ice slips, high 59, that's 11 degrees above normal. The low 48, 16 degrees above normal. And that puts us 14 degrees above normal for the day. Oddly enough, today's rainfall at ice slip was a record for the day, 1.15, believe it or not. So that was a record. So looking at the radar, you can see all that rain pretty much now well offshore, away from us, but Cape Cod's still dealing with it. So looking at the models, that will crawl offshore tomorrow, and hopefully we can get some mostly sunny conditions. That low slowly crawls offshore, and then it kind of goes to the south, and this is where things get interesting. So if we go to the National Hurricane Center, we're gonna pull that up because believe it or not, they're watching for a possible 10% chance of tropical. Yeah, it's only March, folks. It's only March. Fair weather continues Wednesday, but then we have another front approaching for Thursday, and to Thursday night, which would bring us our next chance of rain. It does develop a low along it, so that rain could wind up being heavy. And look what the 18 ZGFS does. Gives us a little snow at the end. Kind of lingering into Friday now. It kind of slows it down a little bit, which is interesting. So we'll look at the European model. 18Z European. And again, you see that. We'll have to watch that offshore for sure as it moves south into some more favorable. I know it's only March. I know. Here's the line for Thursday. And again, there could be some heavy rain and maybe even thunderstorms with that. We'll have to be watching. Then colder weather comes back in for Friday behind that. We'll look at the icon as well. I mean, I'm pretty sure we see an agreement here, general agreement on things. Obviously, GFS seems to want to slow that front down compared to the other models for Thursday night to Friday. So let's look at the HRRR. We'll go with the 0Z run of the HRRR. And obviously, this front slowly crawls offshore. You can see, though, it still may be close enough to bring us some clouds, perhaps, tomorrow. So, well, first thing we'll look at some soundings. We'll do the 18Z. No, 18Z is 2 o'clock. We'll do 17, do 16. It's like middle of the day. So you can see, yeah, there is some upper-level moisture over Long Island. But off to the west, yeah, those lines are pretty far apart. So if you're off to the west, it should be sunnier. But there may be some high clouds being sprayed over Long Island. We'll look at some cloud models in a moment for that. And then as we head into your Wednesday, we'll start off with sun, but then there could be some increasing cirrus later on. Let's see what this looks like to start. Yeah, you can see those lines getting closer together. This is already 16Z. So let's look at our dew points and wind flow. And obviously we've got north winds, northwest winds tonight, bringing in the drier air. They go a little more north, mainly north, maybe backing a little bit to the northeast, mainly northerly, dry air, low dew points. And then toward the evening, they sort of relax a little bit. All right, so I don't think we see radiational cooling tonight. Tomorrow night, there's a possibility we could definitely see some with the lighter winds. And then we start with light northeast winds turning to east on Wednesday, and then pretty much staying from the east and maybe becoming a little southeast toward the evening. Temperatures tonight, it will be dropping, and we're going to see temperatures in the mid-30s by the morning, so it's going to feel chilly, but we will recover nicely well into the mid-50s, depending on where you are. It'll probably be a little cooler Over eastern Long Island, again, maybe due to some more cloud cover, maybe only low 50s over there. Most of the main part of Long Island should see mid 50s, and as you're closer to Jersey, maybe some upper 50s, closer to 60 there, where you're getting the most amount of sunshine. Then tomorrow night, temperatures will drop into the mid 30s, but if we get radiational cooling, likely it'll drop into the 20s in those colder areas like the Pine Barrens. And for Wednesday, we're going to have a big dichotomy on Wednesday. Temperatures along the coast with that easterly flow, mid 50s, which is still above normal, believe it or not. And then inland, away from the coast, well into the 60s and maybe even closer to 70. So there'll be a big difference, and that's going to help fuel a pretty good sea breeze on Wednesday, I think. Let's look at the GFS. We'll go a little bit beyond this on the GFS. So, and you see that easterly flow on the GFS. And as we get to Thursday, that flow shifts southerly. That brings in some moisture. And then Friday, we get this low that forms along the front that the GFS wants to bring in a really strong northwest. It could be pretty windy on Friday, and that we may be needing a wind advisory that day. And temperatures, if the GFS is right and this thing slows down, we're going to struggle to make it above 40 degrees. And it's going to be chilly. And, yeah, just for fun, we'll show you this. It's actually bringing some snow, just a little bit, maybe an inch or two over Long Island. This is the GFS. None of the other models are doing this. Euro's not doing it. This is the European, obviously. But this front would be our next weather maker. Again, as we get into Thursday night into Friday, right now, timing Thursday night, probably 8 o'clock onward, would be our next chance of rain, and then kind of windy for behind the front. As you see here, the temperatures will be cool on Friday, only mid 40s at this point. We can look at a sounding if you want to get an idea. It does look fairly sunny, though, if the European is right. But if the GFS is right, it'll slow the front down and it won't clear out. So as the GFS kind of keeps us in the clouds. Again, maybe sunnier off to the west. And then Saturday, we'd have to worry about the cirrus coming in. So looking at this week, you can see what happens for tomorrow. The clouds kind of get hung up. This is the GFS. You see them getting hung up over the eastern part, in the eastern half of Suffolk County. Sunny to the west. And then for Wednesday, we start off with sun, but then the cirrus will increase throughout the day and thicken. And then obviously Thursday we'll be doing plenty of clouds. And Friday, that's all depending on how fast this system moves. We can look at the 12Z, which does the same thing. It kind of slows it down. So this is the GFS. Let's look at the RGEM for skies. Because they're going to kind of be all over the place here. So here's, again, tomorrow, and you can see those clouds kind of hanging out over the eastern part of Long Island, but if you're to the west, it should be mostly sunny. I guess the weather's trying to say, if you want to go hiking in the Pines, you better shut up and go hike in New Jersey. And then for Wednesday, we'll start off mostly sunny, and then the cirrus kind of rolls in. The RGEM's right. Maybe the cirrus will hold off until the afternoon, perhaps, which would be nice. And then they kind of merge in on us for Thursday and give us a pretty dense cloud deck, and I'm wondering if there could be some sucky drizzle perhaps in there for Thursday. I hope not, but it's right now. It's too early to tell. We'll look at the NAM. See how the model don't have the 0Z NAM. We can look at the 18Z 3-kilometer NAM and see what it does with the clouds, and you can see how it kind of keeps them over Long Island, but if you're in New Jersey, it should be mostly sunny. And then for Wednesday, we'll have to watch for that cirrus increasing, though. Again, the NAM and the RGEM seem to think it's not going to happen until we get toward the afternoon. And then as we get into Thursday, if I put this on here, yeah, you could see some little green splotches there. That could be sucky drizzle perhaps for Thursday, but right now it's too early to tell. Not even going to venture that guess as to Thursday as far as how that's going to turn out as far as the precipitation goes. I guess we'll just lastly look at the Ventus sky as far as the cloud output for tomorrow goes. So you can see what happens. So here we are at 9 a.m. You can see the clouds parked over Long Island. And they're just kind of parked over Long Island. But if you're Nassau County, New Jersey, you should be mostly sunny, especially by the afternoon. But for Suffolk, they're going to hang on. Unfortunately, yeah, it's if you're in Suffolk County, you're going to have a lot of filtered sunshine with this cirrus kind of just stuck here because of the stalled front situation here. And we can also look at windy.com, cloud out. So we're going all these cloud models because there's a little bit of uncertainty with that. Obviously, it's the far out. The euro is more aggressive with moving it a little more east, as you see there. So every model is different. I don't know if it might get hung up. For Thursday, let's see what we got for Thursday. You can see a lot of coastal clouds, and that could spell drizzle, perhaps. Let's just see if we're going to go into this one. Let's see. Yeah, no, I'll go to this visibility. Let's see. Right now, it's too early. It's really kind of hard to tell, but let's see. Oh, yeah. There could be sucky drizzle on Thursday. So we're going to have to watch for that possibility on Thursday. We may have a miserable, drizzly, sucky day on Thursday. But we'll have to watch. Right now, kind of early to tell. We'll have to see what happens. Right now, too early to tell. But anyway, we're watching this storm crawl to the east. Hopefully, if you're to the west, you'll have a mostly sunny day. But east Suffolk County, you'll have some more clouds. But that is going to do it for this Long Island weather report. Have a good night.